2 years ago he was outstanding. Last year he couldn't get anybody out. But Logan Gillespie came in, and he gave him some length. 4 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, a couple of walks, a strikeout. But he had the 2 balks, and they were both balks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They were balks. So, but he hung in there. He gave up that 2-run homer to Kyle Tucker, and then Adrian Morahone came in, looked good, inning in a third. Jeremiah Estrada, a walk, couple of punch-outs in an inning. Jason Adam, inning, a hit, walk, a strikeout. ERA 0.00. He got the win yesterday, 2-0. And Robert Suarez came in and shut the door. Fourth save of the year. Everybody's concerned about Suarez yesterday. The 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, hasn't given up a run yet. 0.00. Okay, now offensively yesterday. Oh, I got to tell you, Luis Arraez, 4 for 5 yesterday. Jackson Merrill, 2 for 5 yesterday. Had a stolen base. Cronenworth had a couple of hits yesterday. Bogarts, 2 for 5. Gavin Sheets, 2 for 5. He also struck out 3 times. Cubs walked 8 Padres. That helped. But the Padres struck out 10 times. That's not typical of what the Padres have been doing in the last year and a half. Okay, now I do want to get to the starters, and we're going to talk about Friday. We're going to talk about Saturday's game as well. But when you take a look right now, Friday, Randy Vasquez started 4 2/3. He walked 5. Can't do it. You can't do it. And then, on Saturday, you had Nick Pivetta, 3 innings. He walked 3. Can't do it. And then yesterday, Kyle Hart couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. These Padre pitchers have got to trust their stuff. Now, I know it was cold. Yesterday was 44 degrees. And no doubt, I thought it affected the Padres a lot more than it affected the Cubs. You could tell the Padres looked a little out of sorts. When you watch those games on TV, they looked a little out of sorts. They were all bundled up. Cub guys, kind of going about their business, used to it for the most part. And that's not an excuse. You got to play. It's not like Manny hasn't gone to his left in cold weather. I mean, that was a bad error he made the other day. That's a play, as they said on the broadcast, he'll make 99 out of 100 times. Well, he needed to make it there. He didn't, and it cost the Padres a run. But you go back to Friday afternoon, Padres, they couldn't get anything going. Even though they out-hit the Cubs 6-3 on Friday, they couldn't get anything going. They were 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, got beat 3-1. And the other thing, the first 2 games, and this is where I don't want to tip my cap to the Cubs, or I don't want to tip my cap to anybody for that matter. But Shota Imanaga went out there and did a hell of a job. 7 1/3, gave up 4 hits, 1 run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. Gave up that home run to Martin Maldonado that landed in the basket. The wind was blowing in. Tough to get a ball out. But, he did a good job. Porter Hodge came in for 2/3 of an inning. Ryan Presley kind of struggled through his inning, but was able to close the door to pick up his 3rd save. Vasquez, on the other hand, just too many walks. Too much traffic. 4 2/3, 2 hits, 5 walks, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. And he had a couple of strikeouts. He's a contact pitcher. He's got to trust his stuff. He's trying to strike guys out. He was a thrower, not a pitcher. He's better than that. And really on Friday, I mean, Fernando had a couple of hits. Merrill had a couple of hits, a double. And Maldonado hit the home run. Aside from that, Cronenworth had 1 hit. That was it. Fernando, 2 for 4 day. Manny, an 0 for 4 day. Bogarts, an 0 for 3 day with a walk. So Friday was not good. And then Saturday, Padres get boat raced 7-1. Couple of errors, Cronenworth, Iglesias. But again, Matthew Boyd, the left-hander, veteran, I might add, did a great job. 6 innings, 5 hits, no runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts. Then they turned it over to Nate Pearson, Brad Keller, and Caleb Thielbar. Pivetta, 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Gave up a 3rd inning homer to Dansby Swanson. Didn't get the job done. Coming off that great outing last Sunday against Atlanta, he couldn't get the job done. Got to get more. I mean, think about this. Padres did not have one starter get out of the 5th inning. I mean, Vasquez came close at 4 2/3. Kyle Hart, 2/3 of an inning. and they had to hook him. And then you got Pavetta, going 3 innings, and he's gone. You got to get that's not a recipe for success, I can tell you that. So they're going to have to figure that out, and they're going to have to do better. They got Kolek down there. I'm giving Kyle Hart one more start. If not, I'm going to send him down to AAA to work on some stuff. Randy Vasquez, I've seen enough. I trust him out there. Kyle Hart, trying to feel his way along. That first start, did a nice job. 5 innings and 2 runs, but the other day couldn't get out of the first inning. Got to do better than that. That's not going to get the job done. Okay, now I told you on Friday, and we're going to get to questions. We can start putting questions up here in a second. I told you on Friday, Luis Arraez is starting to swing the bat. Now, he had an 0 for 4 game, but he also ended up having 6 hits. He had 4 hits yesterday. So he's starting to heat it up a little bit at the top of the lineup. So I'm big on Luis Arraez. Arraez, there was a play the other day. He could have saved Iglesias an error. Got to dig that ball out of the dirt. It was an easy dig. I mean, it was a short hop, real short hop, glove right there. You got to make that play. Now, I'm not going to pick his defense apart because he's gotten a lot better, but he's starting to hit now. I told you he's all of a sudden he's going to, start spraying these 2, 3, and 4 hit games around. Well, he had 6 hits in 3 games in Chicago. Let's see what he can do up in Sacramento against the A's. Okay, I got to bring this up because I know. Well, let's get to this question. Oh, Evan, thank you very much. That is very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Keep up the great show, Coach. Go Padres. Very much appreciated. I thank you for that. Those supers, I don't, I know some guys on podcasts, they live off of that. Anytime you want to send a super in is much appreciated. That's a nice way to start a Monday morning. Thank you very much. And let's keep the Padres rolling. But again, Arraez is one of those guys that's going to hit. He's going to contend again for a batting title. There's no doubt about it. Now, I want to get to a couple of guys that I know you fans, and I want your opinion on this. I realize how tough it is to hit and how tough it is to play Major League Baseball. I talk to young ball players all the time and try to encourage them, try to work more on the mental side than the physical and the fundamental side. Even though I'm really big into fundamentals, this game is so mental. And I was actually visiting with a mother the other night on Facebook, and her son pitches professionally. He's had a couple of rough goes lately, and I was just kind of giving her some words of advice because it affects the whole family.